just kind of jazzes it up so it doesn't sound, you know. Yes, sir. Oh, that'll help me out. Boy, I think the choir could session in on that. Genesis 22. Genesis 22. Want to commence reading at verse 15 and conclude at verse 19. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Genesis, chapter 22. I want to commence at verse 15 and conclude at verse 19. And I'm reading from the King James Version. Today I was really impressed with the King James Version in this particular passage, and I wanted to read it to you in your hearing so you could get an adequate understanding of what I'm trying to say today. Verse 15 says, "And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham," y'all see that? "Out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself I have sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thine son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemy. And in thy seed all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba." Bless you, you may be seated. I want to talk from this thought, how to know you have passed the faith test. How to know that you have passed the faith test. The first sermons in this series, this study of Abraham and Isaac, dealt with how to pass the faith test. How to know today how you have passed the faith test. Those of you that have been in school and some of you that are in college now, you know that when it is exam time, sometimes that can be some of the most nerve-wracking time in your life, especially if you have not studied. And then you do what they call cram. That's the day before you try to cram all of the information inside your mind in a few hours as though you are really prepared. But haven't you been guilty of being on the edge? Haven't you been guilty of chewing your nails, waiting to see what is the results of your exam, especially if it's midterm? Because see, somebody has been at the point where you found yourself where you couldn't pay your bills, and the Lord wasn't going to work it out. The Lord has already worked it out. Some of you have been in a situation where you thought you were going to go crazy. You were ready to walk off a cliff, but the Lord put a sanctified rail up. I wish you would tell somebody, not only do I know what he can do, I'm a living witness about what he has done. And Abraham says, when y'all read it, you'll see that Abraham doesn't hesitate. As soon as Isaac starts to question Abraham about God, Abraham said, "Now, Perry, hold up, dude. Hold up. God got this thing covered." And you'd be surprised at how many people would follow Christ if the Christians learn how to speak positively about God in an instance.
come.